pounds in Class A. It'll be Randy Bartlett of Omaha Westside meeting Jerrat Fuller of Omaha North. In Class B, Chris Blair of Omaha Gross faces Aaron Collingham of Aurora. Class C, Mike Smith of Ashland-Greenwood pairs up against Brandon Moser of Albion. And in Class D, Mike Kvanvig of Mullen faces off against Rick Hasenpflug of Creighton. And once again, we have a lot of ones against twos. We have 2 ones against twos and a number 2 wrestling in A when I talk about ranked wrestlers. And we've got an undefeated wrestler in Chris Blair in Class B. Blair from Omaha Gross.
He's really one of the class wrestlers of the state, and it's not necessarily his technique, but he just goes out and gets it. He stays aggressive. He's constantly on. He constantly is on the attack. We've been talking about that all day long. He's constantly the aggressor.
And he's facing Collingham, who's 29-3 and ranked 2nd. Collingham was 3rd a year ago in state, whereas Blair did not get a medal last year. So it's kind of it's a very interesting matchup indeed.
Talking to Coach Wooford from Aurora prior to this match, they wanted to keep it close in the first period. They felt if they could keep it close, then they'd probably be in the match. If they felt if Blair was able to get out and get a fast start, which he normally does, then they would be in trouble. And there he ended up actually getting the takedown there.
We have a 2-0 score in Class D. Leading is Mike Kvanvig of Mullen, leading 2-0 over Rick Hasenpflug of Creighton. Kvanvig comes in at 33-1, ranked number 1. Hasenpflug was ranked number 2. Hasenpflug has pinned his way to this championship match, so he's a guy that can really come back on you. That's the thing that you have to be leery of when you got a guy who likes to pin, and I think he's trying to get in a pin combination right now. It's Kvanvig.
Yeah, Kvanvig, he's the returning state champion. He's placed 3 times down here. Actually, he missed placing his sophomore year. He placed his freshman year. He got 6th at 130 pounds and came back last year, his junior year, placing 1st at 145 pounds. So helped leading his team last year to the state title. So
yeah, last year was Mullen edging out Greeley, and this year Greeley.
He's doing a good job here. He's got Hasenpflug in a near fall situation, but no points awarded. Apparently he didn't have it long enough.
In Class C, our score is 2-1 with Mike Smith of Ashland-Greenwood leading Brandon Moser of Albion. And this is Albion still trying to clinch the state title in Class C. So they really want to get a victory here to try to clinch that. And
I think this is the first wrestler of theirs we've seen, isn't it?
Yep. And so it's really their first opportunity to do so. I think with 1 win, they get the state title.
There's a takedown for their Albion to go ahead 3-2 for Moser.
Albion's coach is Dale Bungie, a former 2-time state champion from Plainview. And well, fortunately, I was in a different weight class, but we're about the same age. And boy, he was something. And he's just a great individual as well. And has done a super job at Albion since he's been there. They've been powerhouse for years and years in B, and then since they've gone to C, he's done an outstanding job. Now we're going to have, I think, a caution in Class C.
Class A ended up 0-0 at the end of the first. Randy Bartlett from Westside taking the down position. He's an unranked wrestler that came in here 25-11, a senior. Won 5-4 in the semifinals over the number 3 ranked wrestler in the state, while Jerrat Fuller from North, the number 2 ranked wrestler, beat the number 1 ranked wrestler 3-1 in the semis. So both of them are returning place winners, though. Both of them placed last year.
Class D, Mike Kvanvig with a 4-0 lead over Rick Hasenpflug of Creighton. In Class B, we've got a 4-2 lead for Chris Blair of Omaha Gross, leading Collingham of Aurora. In A, we're still scoreless, as RJ mentioned, and again in C, it's 3-2, Brandon Moser leading Mike Smith.
Closing seconds of the first period in Class B, and again, Chris Blair in on the attack. He's really efficient at using that low single leg takedown.
It's always interesting for RJ and I.
Referee calls 2 points and then changes his mind.
We kind of have to take turns of which match to follow, and then as we scan the match, we try to pick the one that has the most action in it. And right now in Class A, we've got a pretty good tussle going up on top, as Randy Bartlett and Jerrat Fuller really going after it, as Bartlett got an escape, and now they're both up. Bartlett from Omaha Westside in the black, and Fuller in the blue singlet, and it is again a 1-0 lead for Bartlett.
I don't think the 2 wrestlers in Class A have met yet this year, primarily because Omaha North, a lot of times in dual matches, will wrestle their guys up a weight class, so that's why they probably didn't see each other. Although they both have pretty comparable records. Over in C, we're still at 3-2 in favor of Moser from Albion, trying to lock up the team title for Albion.
In Class B, we've tightened up a little bit. We're now 4-2 with Chris Blair leading Aaron Collingham. And right now, Collingham trying to get an escape and get that match even a little tighter.
No, he's actually on top there. He was just getting in trouble. It's hard because you watch it all 4 matches and you try to jump in. And
in Class D, it's 6-1 with Mike Kvanvig of Mullen leading Hasenpflug. And as you mentioned, Kvanvig, a defending state champion.
We've got an injury time now on the D mat for, it looks like Hasenpflug was the one that was injured. 18 seconds left in the second period there with Kvanvig leading 6-1.
The C match is really looking good right now between Brandon Moser of Albion and Mike Smith of Ashland-Greenwood. Smith again ranked 3rd coming in. Moser was ranked 4th. Smith 31-2, Moser 29-4, and it's a 3-2 score with 9 seconds to go in the second period. And Moser hanging on to the 1-point lead. But boy, I tell you, they're going after it. And that'll end the second period. Boy, that'll be a match to watch. Class C.
Looks like is it 5-1 now in favor of Chris Blair on
Class B? That's correct. Yeah, Blair with a 5-2 lead. It's 5-2 in B and A.
It's 1-0 in favor of Randy Bartlett of Westside.
And it's,
I believe if they lose that match, that would be North's first loss in the finals, wouldn't it? They've won all of theirs. Still a lot of time left.
Well, that would be an upset for Bartlett. He's coming in at 25-11. You have to have a lot of respect for him getting to the finals. But it's not unusual in Class A to see more losses because of the type of competition. Right. And they do tend to wrestle each other a lot more often, too. Well, in Class B, they're down to 36 seconds in the second period. And again, it is 5-2.
And Blair in again on that same low single that he's been coming in on every time.
Well,
near fall situation in D. Mike Kvanvig not able to hold Hasenpflug there. But he is going to get the near fall. That's going to increase his lead to 10-1 with about 1.5 minutes to go in the last period. We have a reversal now in Class A for Jerrat Fuller. He takes the lead 2-1. 30 seconds remaining in this match.
Well, that's been a really tight match. And we still have an injury situation in Class C. It looks like they're working on a blood situation once again. This with Mike Smith of Ashland-Greenwood.
Jerrat Fuller doing a good job just to kill the clock a little bit. He's had a leg tied up on Bartlett and locked in a cradle. Down to 10 seconds in Class A, 2-1. An escape would tie it.
Moser trying to lock up a pinning combination. Moser leading at 3-2, but now an opportunity for an escape by
there's another North High champion in Jerrat Fuller. Gets the reversal in the last 30 seconds to win the match 2-1 over Randy Bartlett of Westside.
Meanwhile, Moser about to be reversed and may lose the lead with 1:34 to go, and he does. Great job by Mike Smith of Ashland-Greenwood, and takes a 4-3 lead, but there's still a lot of time left. And now they have a caution for stalling against Mike Smith. Boy, that's and again a 4-3 lead for Smith. This has really turned into a highlight match. Meanwhile, in D, looks like Mike Kvanvig's going to win the state title there, leading at 10-1.
With about 30 seconds to go, B is that 5-3?
Yep, they're tightened up in B with Blair still hanging on to that 2-point lead. They've got 1:41 to go in the third period there. We're down to 1:15 in Class C between Moser and Smith. Moser on the bottom needs to get at least an escape. But they also a situation where Smith could get a caution or could get a stalling point against him.
One thing we didn't mention, Gross winning their third state title. I think they've done it in honor this year of their coach, Paul Novotny, that passed away last year. So that's an important moment for them as well. I know a lot of their wrestlers have the black patch on their uniforms in memorial to him. So there's another takedown for Chris Blair. That gives him a 7-3 lead with a minute to go in Class B.
And Kvanvig in another pinning combination in D, and he's going to win the state title.
2 more near fall, 14-1.
So Kvanvig really winning it big. A very outstanding wrestler. Meanwhile, we're still at 4-3 in Class C. Very important match as Albion trying to get a state title. And right now, it's Mike Smith with the lead over Brandon Moser of Albion with 29 seconds remaining in that match. In Class B, we're 7-3. The lead for Chris Blair of Omaha Gross.
Mike Kvanvig totally dominating in that match. He is the senior. We're 2-time state champion. Rick Hasenpflug, only a sophomore. I'm sure we'll see a lot more from him. He had 3 pins on his way in, like you said, so he's a good quality wrestler. 30 seconds to go in B, 7-3 lead for Chris Blair. Still a 1-point match in C, 4-3 in favor of Mike Smith from Ashland-Greenwood.
Moser trying to get the escape to tie it up. He needs to turn into him, and now it's trying to get back to the center of the mat. And again, caution already had been called against
Mike Smith.
And I don't know. I think he's close to having that called against him again.
He's like I said, when that wrestler stands up, if you don't make an attempt or try to get him, bring him back down to the mat, there's a caution on Smith. I actually think he might have heard another whistle coming from the end of the Class B mat where Chris Blair just wrapped up his 2nd state title, his 4th medal here at this tournament, his 3rd time he's been in the finals. He was in the finals as a freshman, got 2nd, got 3rd as a sophomore, and 1st his last 2 years.
You're down to 9 seconds in Class C, and once again, Moser's so close to that escape. Now he only has 7 seconds to do it. Trailing at 4-3. Mike Smith trying to fight for that championship. Smith 31-2 coming in. Moser 29-4. And now being broken down, I think that'll probably wrap it up unless there's would be a stalling call. And that'll do it. Mike Smith is the state champion.
I see a big roar out of the Aquinas crowd up in the corner, which means that it's quite possible that they still might be in the team race here, since Albion still has not got a victory. We haven't heard an official score yet, but I have a feeling that might be the case.
We do have another Albion wrestler coming up next, so that'll be one to watch. Boy, big win for Mike Smith. So we've completed all the matches now at 151 pounds as the team races over in Class A with Omaha North the champion, Gross and B. Gross and North both 3-time team champions, and in D is Greeley the champion. Let's take a look now at the results at 151 pounds in Class A. Jerrat Fuller wins it 2-1 over Randy Bartlett of Westside. In Class B, Chris Blair, a 7-3 winner over Aaron Collingham. In Class C, the state champion is Mike Smith of Ashland-Greenwood, winning 4-3 over Brandon Moser of Albion. And in Class D, Mike Kvanvig of Mullen, a 14-1 victor over Rick Hasenpflug of Creighton. At 160 pounds, let's set the